Hello everyone. We are just going to start in few minutes. So thank you everyone for coming.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Sir, if you want, you can switch on your video.
My
And
video.
yes, sir.
So I'm outside right now. I'm sorry, I was supposed to be home, but then there was some problem that I couldn't.
No problem.
I'll just put on my video. Yeah.
Yes, sir. If it is not comfortable, you can turn on the videos.
I mean, it's okay. I don't mind.
Sir, so do you have any presentation to upload? Yeah.
Just a minute. I'll give me 1 minute. I'll just be back.
Yeah. Yes.
Uday, it is connected. Connected? I mean, किसी और का connect हुआ है क्या हमारा?
Oh yes.
मैं डिस्कनेक्ट करता हूँ फिर फिर दोबारा आएगा कनेक्ट हो जाते हैं बोल रहा हूँ आगे ऑन रखना है Do you have your phone? You're not connected. Mic इधर ही है. Okay. थोड़ा adjust करना होगा. Hello.
Yes. So
Yeah.
shall we?
Now I can.
I guess.
Yeah, we can.
We shall start by 3-5 because I guess some people are left to come.
You're expecting more. Okay. There are 60 people already. Pretty cool.
Sir,
So all people here are from IIT Bombay.
Yes, sir. They are a mix
Okay.
of PhDs, BTechs, and Intechs.
Okay. Perfect.
So if you have to present something, you can share your screen.
Not really. I'll just be talking. It's okay.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone present here. I thank everyone for coming here. So today with us, it's joining Mr. Ashish Chopra. He is at a post of talent research executive in Philips Healthcare. He started off his career as a talent execution recruiter at Wipro. After his postgraduate from Symbiosis Center for Corporate Education, we are it's a great pleasure for us to have him here. He has gained a strong experience interacting with prospective candidates for the company he joined Philip. And with his understanding and insights in the cooperative world, he will be a like a very great look for everyone who is watching this video, because at IIT Bombay we expect and wish that there's a holistic development for everyone, so as to get a more insight on the cooperative world, because academic and industrial, the cooperative is a bit different. So it's a great pleasure to have him here. So over to you, Ashish sir. You can start.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. So I'm Ashish. I have about 5.5 years of experience as in the HR industry, and it is my job to look at 100 resumes every day. So thank you for having me. Yes, I would say I do look at a lot of resumes. So I can give you some bit of knowledge about what I think, what I would at least look into a resume, and what of my other colleagues also. We all pretty much follow the same procedures. So first thing, the most important thing, a resume, especially if you guys are freshers and just out of college, no resume should ever be more than 1 page. Never ever. I have about 5 years of experience. Even now, my resume is only 1 page. No one has the time to go through like 10 pages of resumes, 3 pages of resumes with a lot of information. Please cut it down. There is no way anyone's even opening your resume with 3, 4 pages. So keep it only 1 page. My second most important tip would be make it a little creative. It has to have probably a picture of yourself. It has to have some color. I know it's not very important. It sounds very stupid, but all that really adds to the resume. It really makes it look a lot more interesting, and it intrigues the recruiter that okay, this person has put in some work in the resume, has is a little creative also. So do add your picture, add some colors. Do not just have plain white with black text. Not happening. It is not. It's 2021. I think you guys need to like be a little more creative. Normal resume sub kar rahe hain, you have to be to just to get an upper hand. You might have to be a little more creative. So put some color, put your picture. Third, obviously सबसे ऊपर your name, your phone number, contact details, all of that should be there. Then the most important thing is what all you've worked with, and do not add things like I was second in the chess competition when I was fifth standard. No one wants to know all of that. Sorry, it is an achievement though, but in your resume that you should not be mentioning तुमने fifth standard, 10th standard में क्या किया था. I think your experience probably starts only after 12th. So you can mention 10th and 12th के marks. I think that is important. But 10th and 12th के marks के बाद उसके पहले का is not important at all. So 10th and 12th के पहले का जो भी information you have on your resume, please delete. It is irrelevant now. I mean, it could have been. I mean, तुमने बहुत कुछ किया होगा उस time. It can be important, but before 10th, if anyone has won an Olympiad, I don't think it's very important for a recruiter to know that. And we all know how important an Olympiad is. It doesn't really connect with the corporates. So obviously 10th and 12th ke marks ke baad, you guys can talk about your experience if you guys have worked already. So yeah, what organization you worked with, what were your major duties in not more than 4 to 5 lines. Keep it very short. I probably, if I have to send my resume, I'd write, I was a talent researcher. My job was to build a pipeline of candidates. I go through I source candidates using LinkedIn, and what all tools do you use? Just break down your experience in not more than 4 to 5 lines. Do not write. People do that a lot. That oh, I've done so many things at work, so they'll explain एक पूरे page में what all they have done at one organization. No one is reading all of that. No one has the time. We have 100 open positions. Why will I spend so much time just on one resume? So we don't. Everyone just expects these are recruiters that you guys have worked so hard. Obviously, I would say that you guys work a lot and want to put all of that on your resume. But all the recruiters have 100 open positions and they do not have the time to go through all of that. So keep it very short and precise in your resume. All your experiences have to be 4 to 5 lines wherever you work. If I'm assuming a lot of you are freshers. So what you guys can do is probably school ka 10th and 12th ke marks ke baad you can mention all your college experiences. What all have you? What all even apart from the academics? What do you do? I want to know how creative you are, how involved you are in the non extracurricular activities also. So if you were in the planning team of the fest that you guys have every year, mention that. What were your duties there? You can write that down in 2 to 3 lines, not more than that again. And yeah, for freshers, I would say it's a little more difficult because there is one page, and you can also mention the languages. Languages always get a plus. More the languages you know, the better it is. Foreign languages, especially, even also get a bigger plus. All that is also important. Also mention your interests in not more than 2 lines. That I love watching movies, I love reading books, I love traveling, I love trekking. Whatever your interests are, we want to know all of that as well. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. Just keep it short, keep it sweet. Do not add a lot of information that no one is reading all of that. So your college experience in 4 to 5 lines, your work experience in 4 to 5 lines, and the extra curriculars that you do, and the languages that you speak, and your contact details. That is literally the 5 things that have to be on your resume. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please start messaging already. I want to keep it interactive also. I want to know what all questions you guys might have. What do you want to know for the resume? Oh, I forgot to mention. So the most important thing when a recruiter, when we start looking for probably a C++ developer, and when I write C++ on the job portal, वो मुझे सबसे पहले it will show me that resume which has C++ written on the resume at least 10 times. So if you can be a little more creative, that program with C++, use C++ for this, program with C++ for that. If the more number of times you write C++, the more are the chances that your resume will come on top. So suppose I'm a recruiter, I have mentioned that I'm a sourcer, I source resumes, I recruit, I hire. So I use synonyms and try to get that keyword as many times as I can in the resume. That is super important, to have the right keywords that your experience has. Find synonyms and keep using those synonyms 2 to 3 times in those 4 or 5 lines. That is all. No 2 pages. And probably like सबसे ऊपर we obviously write a summary that hey, I'm an HR professional of 5 years of experience. I've worked with these organizations as a recruiter. I hire candidates through these portals. Is what I do, and you guys can do the same. That we program using C++. I had built this amazing game using the C++ software and programmed with C++. So just be creative with the keywords and play around with it. Yeah. So now, if you guys have any questions, please shoot right now.
Yes, actually, there are some questions popping up.
Okay.
They are from YouTube, and there are some other queries also. So first query is this widely asked question, that how does grades or CPI of any student affects the process of taking any resume?
So I can't believe I'm saying this, but your grades do not matter. It's all your experience. It's how you talk in the interview, how confident you are. That's what we want to know. I mean, obviously, if you have a great, if you have good grades, that really helps. It is a big plus. But I would rather focus on how confident you are in the interview and how well can you speak and how well can you like explain your experience, that what all you have done. All of that is a lot more important for me than your 4 out of 4 or nine out of 10. Especially these days, not a lot of people are looking for grades. They want the whole personality. They don't want good grades. So it has to be more of communication. Your communication is something you really have to work on. Every organization these days is finding people who are really strong with communication. So keep your communication strong. As long as you can convey what you have done in those 30 minutes, 1 hour of interview in like proper English, you're through.
Then Swaraj Goel is asking of effect for shortlisting. Like initially, you might have been having hundreds of SOP. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
resume. Out of hundreds of
Yeah.
Means
Mhm.
the screening done based upon grades.
There are some organizations which do it, that they want like a minimum of 8 out of 10 from these colleges. But so search engines don't capture your grades at all. So even if you mention the grade that you got an 8 out of 10 in your college ka grade, the search engine will not show that to us. These are the toppers and these are the ones who scored less. So it doesn't really matter. It's more about the keywords that you use. Yeah, some organizations do have this criteria. They will call up each candidate. They will ask for questions and they want a minimum of 8 out of 10 from the student only. Then they qualify for the next round. But that's very few organizations, and especially nowadays, not a lot of organizations are doing it. So yeah, the grades are not really important. It's your communication, it's how strong, and the work that you have done. Obviously, the experience should be as relevant to the opening as possible. Also, apart from the resume, I would tell you how to look for a job also, because I get almost 20 to 30 messages every day that this is my resume. Please help me find a job in your organization. That is the, I should not say this, but it's really stupid. I get 30 messages saying कि तुम मेरे को job दे दो. This is my resume. That is not something you should do. Please, if you're reaching out to a recruiter from Philips, go to the Philips career page, find an opening that is relevant to your experience. Tell the recruiter that, hey, this is the opening which I think I'm a good fit for. Can you please send my resume for this particular opening? You cannot just throw your resume at someone and be like, hey, this is my experience. Please get me a job with these are my skills. Find the job code, send that job code to the recruiter and tell them that, hey, this is the job code and this is the exact opening which I think I would be a good fit for. And if you could help me with the process further. Don't throw your resumes to 100 recruiters saying these are my skills, this is what I do, please help me find a job. That is the सबसे गलत thing you can ever do. They will not even open that message. I'm sorry, people, recruiters are not opening your message if you're doing that, hey, this is my resume, help me find a job. Please tell them that this is the particular opening in your organization. Keep it very personal. Tell the recruiter that, hey, hi Ashish, I see that you work at Philips and I saw an opening in your organization and I think I would be a good fit for it. This is the job code and I've worked on all the skills mentioned in the job posting, and please refer me for the position and attach your resume. That is the most right thing to do, that you tell the recruiter that this is the exact opening I want. You cannot expect a recruiter ki, Ashish, I'm a Java developer, please help me. There are 100 openings for Java developers at Philips. How would I know which one do you want me to refer to? And I don't keep track. I don't know how many Java developer positions are open. Is there even one open? I don't know in the back of my head, right? So if you already have done the research, if you've done the good work of telling me that this particular job code is something you want me to refer you to, I would really like that. And I would appreciate that. Okay, this person is actually serious and has not just forwarded the same message to 100 recruiters. So you have to make it a little more personal. You have to personalize the message, and that that would definitely pick the interest of the recruiter.
So our next question is coming from YouTube. It is asking that whether you said that we should add photographs of ourselves on the resume. That might be a plus point or look good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Like how the photo should be? Should it be a stiff one or a casual one, or we don't
I mean, it would be great if it's great if you have a picture. It definitely brightens your resume up. It makes it more legit. That okay, I know this I can see the person who I will be interviewing or I'll be having a word with. So it's great that you have a picture. Also, keep it a little formal. I would say that it should not be a casual picture. It should not be a selfie. It should probably be a picture of you in a plain background wearing a shirt, wearing a formal, anything formal works. So yeah, keep it a little formal is what I'll say. Don't keep it casual. That'd be better. Pictures really help.
Okay, so our next question is certification, the number of certifications play a role in selection?
Definitely. Certifications are a huge plus, especially if they are all technical certifications. Oh my God, that is the first thing you should mention, that I have these technical certifications also. Probably mention it in your executive summary also, that you mention after your name, phone, contact details, you have a 4-5 line executive summary that this is my full experience. Please mention the certification there as well. and make like a corner made chota sa section for certifications that these are the certifications that you have. People are looking for certifications these days. So yes, definitely happen
Now,
there.
the next question is how nowadays recruiters are hiring people with some references.
Mhm.
Is more important rather than person's experience, qualification, skills.
References, not really. You don't have to write any references in your resume nowadays. I don't think I have spoken to a candidate's reference in the 5 years of my experience. So references are not important. I don't know who told you that. It's the resume has to be all about you. Everything has to be about you. So no, please no references. It's all your skills. It's all what you have done. I don't want to confirm from someone else what work is done. There are organizations in the background verification process who might reach out to probably some of your ex-employers or something like that. And that's a part of the background verification process, not a part of the recruitment process.
Kuldeep, do you have any questions for sir? You can ask him
You
directly.
can please unmute yourself, show me your faces also. When you ask a question, I think I would like that. I would like to talk. That's something also recruiters look forward to. I want to see you also have an interaction. Don't just type it out in the chat box and just ask a question. It would be great if, yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, my question got cleared out in the middle only. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Hi, I just have a question. So regarding the reference, someone asked about reference. So is it required nowadays to get a referral from somebody in the company? Like, how important is that?
Oh, if that kind of referral is something what you're looking for, definitely. If you know someone in an organization, if you have friends, so I have friends probably at Amazon. If my friend refers me at Amazon and tells me that, hey, I know Ashish is a good candidate, that is the biggest plus you can ever get. It will obviously get noticed a lot quicker than you applying on LinkedIn or the career portal for a job. So employee referrals are the best. If you can get someone to refer you into an organization, that is really helpful, and your resume will be noticed for sure. So LinkedIn has this feature that suppose if you type Amazon on the search, if you click on the organization, you will see how many of your connections, probably if there are any who work at the organization, and you can just send them a message that, hey, I see you work at Amazon. It'll be great if you can refer me for this particular opening. So employee referrals definitely are the biggest, the most important. Rather than applying, throwing your resume around, I would say you focus on employee referrals and getting yourself referred into an organization. That would definitely be a bigger plus for you than applying for jobs.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So the next question is coming from Nitya. She's asking.
I have one question related to reference only. So, how the reference are important during the campus placements? I understand if you can get referral outs from outside, but are they similarly important through the campus placement? Or should we
No.
Specify them on the resume? No, right?
Not really. But if we are coming for a campus hiring, then I don't think references work. They're not really that important because they're anyways at your campus, and then references don't really help.
Okay, right.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I want to give reference, like I'm going somewhere to get a job, so what kind of like the person to whom I'm referring, whose reference I'm giving, so is the post or designation of that person, or what for which designation I am applying for? All these things, does it matter?
Not really. They don't. As long as they are an employee of an organization and they know you and they probably have worked with you or they're a friend or a relative, as long as the connection is there, it shouldn't just be a random person suggesting your resume. It's a lot better if the person knows you well and is referring you to the organization. And even if he's a CEO or like a call center boy referring you for the position, doesn't matter. Your resume will still have the equal amount of value. I mean, if it's coming from like the CEO directly, obviously you'll get some more value and the process will be quicker. But yeah, I mean, as long as a senior employee or a junior employee refers, it's just okay. Your resume will be noticed. It will get equal amount of attention if a senior or a junior refers.
Mithil, do you have any?
Yeah. Is there any harm in not having an online presence, say on on LinkedIn or anything? If you have no online presence, is there any harm to a sort?
I would definitely suggest everyone should have a LinkedIn profile. I don't know what world are you in if you don't have a LinkedIn profile right now and you're looking for a job. I only hire from LinkedIn. I am not looking at Naukri and all the job portals. So, and a lot of recruiters are only using LinkedIn. So it's great. And LinkedIn also have a picture there, have certifications there. Please mention everything there. We do check the profile, at least the LinkedIn profile, not other social media. We don't check all of that. LinkedIn is something I definitely look into before hiring a candidate. LinkedIn is extremely important. If you're finding a job and don't have a LinkedIn profile, you will probably not get a job. It's that important. So
Oh,
please have a LinkedIn profile and keep if it's active, if it's a very active LinkedIn profile where you're commenting on other people's stuff, where you're posting, where you're writing, even better.
a follow up to that. Do recruiters search up a candidate online on Google or something? So should you suppose you're like if you do that, you can find your presence on from other sites and all that.
Mhm.
Is that do you need to curate it to make sure? I mean, that.
Depends. I would mostly search only on LinkedIn unless it's a very important. If it's probably a senior level role and I have to do a little more research on the candidates, then probably I'll go to Google and do a research on them. But for freshers and for 2 to 3 years of experience, no one is using Google to find a candidate. Everyone's doing LinkedIn.
All right, thanks.
So, related to the LinkedIn profile, so it is not that important during the campus placement, right? Specifying it on the resume.
Not really. If the company is coming to your campus and you are already having a face-to-face discussion with the organization, then they're not checking on LinkedIn.
So the next question is there any recommended font or font size in resume?
Not really. As long as it's readable, as long as it's not super weird and one cannot understand what's written, just keep it formal, just keep it very simple. And font size also doesn't really matter. Don't keep it too small because there's only one page and you want to cram in all the data. So you make the font size small. No, please don't do that. I think 16 is the normal font size that people use. So just, no, not 16. Microsoft Word, when you open the normal font size that's there, just keep it there. Don't increase or decrease the font size. Keep it as normal, as simple as possible.
Sir, and is highlighting the most important points even in between the resume lines is a good practice or not?
It's okay. I mean, it would make the job of the recruiter easier if you highlight that hey, C++ is something I worked on. I know these technologies. If you highlight just the names of the technologies, don't highlight the full sentence. Just the keywords that you highlight that helps. Yeah.
So it's a very important question is coming up that in during our career or studies, if 1 or 2, 3 years of how can one present or justify like what he has done or not? Like how can he present in a resume?
That's a really good question. So, unfortunately, organizations just look down upon a gap, and organizations would not prefer hiring a candidate who has a 2 3 years gap, which is sad. I mean, I think it's okay if someone's taking a break just to relax. I think it's okay. But organizations are not as cool as we are. So, as long as you can justify what was the reason that you took the gap, as long as you can say that I was going through mental health issues, I was going through family issues, there has to be a valid justification for it. Why did you take that 2 years? I would never ask, but I think it's okay for people to take breaks. But organizations really do not recommend candidates taking a break. Even for like a few months, 2 to 3 months का भी अगर gap हो, they will ask you that, oh, what were you doing for those 2 3 months? So try and avoid gaps, try and avoid career gaps. Even if you have any, please have a valid justification that hey, I was looking for a job, I was exploring opportunities, I wasn't getting anything. That is also okay as long as you can justify it. We don't just go into an interview and say I was chilling, I was just taking a break. That's why I have these 2 3 months gap. I don't mind, but the organization would have a problem with that. So yeah, please justify the gap that you have.
Sir, and how does a person holding position of responsibility in any form would affect the selection process? Let's say a person is.
Sorry? Yeah,
Yeah. So my question
yeah,
is,
I can hear you now.
how does a position of responsibility a student holds or a candidate holds affects the selection process?
I didn't understand the question. What sort of responsibility?
So let's say there is I'm holding a position in student body in IT company. So is this putting down in resume
Okay.
this resume? I mean in the selection.
Oh, definitely. If you're a if yes, if you're a part of the student council, if you're a part of the planning team of the fest, if you're a part of the placement team, please mention all of that. These positions of responsibilities are a huge plus. I would definitely prefer if there are two C++ developers with me and one has worked in the placement cell. Probably, I would prefer the placement cell guy because he has done that's like a bigger plus over this normal C++ candidate. Try and add as many as such.
So I guess you're muted.
Sorry, I was disconnected for a bit.
Yes, sir. So you were
Yeah,
saying
can you
that
hear me?
it's a huge point between two candidates.
Yes, definitely. Please add any of your positions of responsibilities that you have taken up. That really helps. It shows that okay, this person has taken up responsibilities before and can is a little more responsible.
So
So
yeah. So are Yashwan, do you want to ask any question?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Sir, my question is, like just you mentioned that for fresher, like the size of the resume should be one page only. But sir, if we have some relevant projects that are relevant to job position, so and like these are some course projects, so and because of that, our like size of the resume would exceed from more than one page. So is that justified to add these projects?
it is good to add the project, but please explain the project in 5 lines. I don't want to know each and everything about the project in the resume itself. Mention the probably 4 or 5 most important things of the project that you did in those 4 or 5 lines on your resume. Probably when I call you and then you tell me a little more about the project, then you can give me a half-an-hour lecture on the project. I don't mind. But on the resume, keep it very short. 4 5 lines is zyada, I am not reading.
And sir, how many projects like that are like as for the standard resume? How many projects should we mention in a resume, one pager or two pager?
Mention as many projects as you can. All the projects that you have worked on, please mention all of those and keep it short, keep it sweet. Don't as long as they're relevant to your experience also. Don't add irrelevant projects that you're a C++ developer, but you also did a coloring or sketching project. That's not relevant. So probably try and avoid adding that. As long as the projects are relevant to your experience, to the job that you're looking for, that works.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, I had a question.
Tell
I have a question about the resume. So, are the white spaces a good thing or a bad thing in the resume?
I would prefer that a resume should be well structured. It should be proper lining, fitting. Everything should be well fit into, and like a little bit of space is okay. Itna, no one's really checking that. Oh, iska space kam hai, so he's probably not a good candidate. It's not that important. We're not paying so much attention that okay, the placement of words or the font is not okay, so we'll not hire him. It's not that important. But yeah, as long as your keywords, as long as your content of the resume is good enough, spaces and all of that really doesn't matter. And there is so much. First, you have your name and contact details, you have a picture, you have your experience, you have your certifications and projects. There is so much to write. So I would say that there should not be a space. There is enough content for you to write.
And
Just
one more thing.
try and fill it up. I mean, it would be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by putting in more things and having less white spaces, doesn't the resume seem to look more cramped with a lot of content?
As long as it's one page, as long as it contains all of your information, it's okay. And we are not fitting in jabardasti karke. As long as it's the same size, it's as long as it looks just one page with all the information with the same font, style, and size, it's okay. I don't mind you putting in extra information, but within that one page and all the experiences in 4-5 lines, not more than that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, and the next question that comes up is from Varun Shukla. He is asking whether in core resumes and non-core resumes, what type of differences should be like can be there, and is self-interest in core resume worth?
Wait, I didn't get that. What is core resume as in?
So let's say there are students who are in chemical engineering and they are applying for a chemical engineering job in a IOCL, let's say. So, or a software developer is
Okay.
applying into your company for some software thing. So, putting his percentage like he likes to read books, traveling, is worthwhile in the resume only.
Yeah, obviously, I would say that you should write your hobbies and activities also, but that's also in the end just 1 or 2 lines, not more than that. It is. I mean, I want to know what do you do apart from work also. There are 100 C++ developers I'll find, but a C++ developer who travels and like who does a lot more work, who is creative, I would prefer that. I don't want just a normal C++ developer. I want someone who's a little more fun also, who adds more value to the organization than just being a C++ developer.
Sir, and what if one is only good in education and not in any other fields he can think of? So would it affect the recruiters in a bad way?
I mean, I would suggest that it's not late to start to get into like the other activities. Please just don't be good at academics. And I can find 100 candidates that are good at academics. I want more. I can't just settle with the candidate who's good with academics. I want someone who's very creative, who has done other work also, and has not just led a boring life studying all his life. It is hardworking, it is respectful, I agree. But organizations these days are looking for creative people who can do a lot more than just what a C++ developer can do. I can easily find a C++ developer who is a lot more creative and can do 10 other things with C++. So please be a little more creative, get into other activities also. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi,
Ashish.
Raj, I can see you finally.
Yeah. Hi. So as you mentioned, position of responsibility is play an important role in resume also. So let me suppose if I have more than 3 or 4 position of responsibility. So how many number of POR is recommended to mention in a resume?
You are hired already. You have 3-4 positions of responsibility as a fresher. I think that's a huge plus. That you should mention all 4 of them, as long as they are relevant. Also, as long as like it's not like you were just a member of a member of the team. As long as you were probably head, you were a secretary. So please mention all the 4.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And please keep doing all the work. Please keep yourselves involved in all those 4 activities of responsibilities. That is really big. That is really strong.
Yeah, I have a question.
Tell me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so my question is about previous experience. So shall we, if your previous job profile or your projects from the previous experience is not that much impressive, so shall you add those experiences or those projects, or you just exclude them from the resume, even though you have the experience of job?
Yeah. So I was a food delivery boy for a few months. I don't write that on my resume because it's not relevant to my HR experience. Just because I was delivering food, it has got nothing to do with my HR experience. So as long as the experience is relevant, your previous experience relevant to what you're applying for and what experience you have, please mention it. I mean, if it's relevant, as long as you have worked on it and it is something you want to continue working on, do mention it. Even if it's even if you did not do a great job at it, it's okay. You have worked on it, you have put your blood, sweat, tears in it, and you obviously would have some knowledge about it, which you can explain in an interview. So do write that. But if it's totally irrelevant, like my food delivery thing, don't. Okay, yeah, thanks.
So, putting when you're putting about projects in resumes, because there are many people who are just only freshers. So, if let's say for specific,
Wait, I lost you just now. Can you repeat your question?
Okay. Actually, Bharat Singh is asking if you were involved in any startup, let's say. So,
Yeah.
with your friends, would it be good to mention it on your resume?
Mentioning what? Sorry.
Startup. A person was wanting to become an entrepreneur or having their own startup, but now he, because of some issues, not able to
Okay.
continue. So, would that putting on a resume affect?
Okay.
Like, would it affect?
Not really. If the startup, if you actually started the whole thing, if you started the company, registered, did all that work, and then shut it probably or have stopped working on it, then probably do mention it. If you planned it out and it didn't work out, and you didn't actually do anything about it, I don't think that'd be very relevant. If you have done it, put it. If you haven't done it, but if you have planned it, I mean, if you've just planned it, I don't think you should be adding it there. If you've actually done it and made it happen, then definitely do add it. Otherwise, no.
Sir, and what about extracurricular activities of social work? Let's say connecting with an NGO to work for the social awareness and all those things. Putting that in a resume affect positively or not?
Definitely, that is a huge plus. I would definitely point out that, okay, I would prefer this candidate because he actually has done some good work, good social work, apart from being the normal academics, if you've done good work for the LGBT community, for any of the people with disabilities, for anyone, any community that is affected, if you're helping them, I would definitely give you a big plus. Super duper important to work with NGOs, especially at your age. I mean, and there are NGOs looking for volunteers always. So just feel free to reach out to NGOs and ask that, hey, I have some free time and I would put that to use. I would like to work with you. I can volunteer. So yeah, make use of that time and you get a big plus on your resume. So why not?
Sir, and what about having like a core projects, core all those things? Can it be converted into non-core in some way? Let's say we have a question is how can you spin the technical projects done in class, a very fundamental type of things of let's say of physics. Can it be converted into non-core learning?
I mean, so I don't really get the whole concept of core and non-core. Because when I see resumes, it's all their work and what they do. I don't see core, non-core.
No, but let's say it's not relevant to that company specifically. So that becomes a non-core for that company. Let's say I'm working on some biological thing, and I'm applying a company that is software company. So working on that project, can some points be converted from there to this company?
Interesting. I think so. I mean, it is your work. You have worked on the project. So even if the company is software, but the resume is about you, what work you have done. If you have done this work, I think you should mention it. And as long as it's good academic work where you have worked hard on it and know a lot about it, the most important thing is whatever you're putting on your resume, know everything about it. Don't put I am don't put things you don't know. Don't lie at all on your resume. It really does not help. And in the process, you will get caught. That okay, this person is just bullshitting, has added random things just to impress us in the resume. Please don't add irrelevant stuff which you have not worked on or something's knowledge that you don't have. Please don't mention that in the resume. You will definitely get caught. Recruiters are very smart these days. They easily find out whether you actually know it or not. So just keep it very relevant. As long as you have worked on it and have good knowledge about it and can explain and can talk about it, go ahead, add it. I mean, I would say, even if you are a biological background student and are applying to a software job, it would be great if you can customize your resume a bit also for that software. Yeah, so a lot of people do this. They will have 3 separate resumes for 3 separate companies. Where if I'm applying at Amazon, I would give them pointers that as to this is why Amazon should hire me. This is all my relevant experience, which could be a huge plus for Amazon. So customizing your resume as per the organization is also a good thing. If you have the time and if you have the energy to do that, it's a huge plus.
Richard, any question?
Yeah, I have 3-4 questions. First is, when I'm writing a resume for
I have just 5 minutes. I'm super sorry.
Okay. When I'm writing resume for on-campus and off-campus case, so how the approach for these two differ? And if I'm saying like I am a person with 9 years of experience and now I am here for my master's, now I'm trying to sit in my placement. So which kind of thing I should focus? I should go more. There is one thing, the way you said like POR, if I will much go in POR, I think this would otherwise reflected that I am trying to do my hands in multiple things and maybe I'm not perfect in something. Isn't it?
Not really. As long as you have done good work with all 3 positions and you have actually shown responsibility, I would say that multitasker, I would definitely like that this person can do 2-3 things together, can like multitask. It's good.
So what are the maximum number of projects which I should mention in a resume so that the person should not get bored? At the same time, it should cover everything.
So like probably how many projects do you have you worked on?
Since last 9 years, I can say more than 15-20 projects, and I will not put 15-20 major projects I'm telling about.
Oh wow.
So maybe I'm not able to write all those.
Okay.
How should I concise all these things? I'm very
confused. So suppose Philips is probably coming to your campus. Mention the projects that Philips might be interested in. If Amazon is coming to your campus, mention projects that Amazon might be interested in. Probably try and connect the project with the organization and mention those projects in that particular organization's resume. That the resume that you'll be sharing with that organization, try and connect those projects that you've worked on with the organization.
And my off-campus resume has become already of 8 pages because after every 6 months or 1 year, I used to update that. So what would be the maximum size? Sure, because I want to
one page. One page is the maximum.
Not possible.
I will send you. Recently, there was a candidate of 20 years of experience, a UX design experience I hired. One page had everything short, to the point, precise. That is what we are looking for. 20 years of experience, and in one page, has put everything very clearly. That's impressive.
I would like to see that.
Sure. After this session, I'll send you a few sample resumes which you can refer to as well. I'll take the permission from the candidates also if I can share their resumes with you. I think you guys would really benefit if you actually see how these super high experienced people also, if they can put all of it in one page, you guys can too.
And last thing, like how much you focus on skills, like these days, everyone is like to acquire more and more knowledge in lots of software. So do you really see that? or it is sufficient that you work for 2-3 projects, but you are more intellectual? What part you would like to have?
It's great if you specialize in one and know a bit of the others. Having one specialization is really important, but knowing a bit of all is also equally important. So make a specialization that you are like the expert at probably Python and know a bit of C++ and Java also. That would be great. Have a specialization and have other added skills as well. Also on LinkedIn, I would definitely recommend everyone, if you are probably in the technical background or they have technical assessments, if you clear those assessments, your resume pops up higher. So clear the LinkedIn assessment of a C++, clear the LinkedIn assessment of Python if you're into technologies and all. So they have probably Excel assessment also. If you're good at Microsoft Excel, even something as simple as that, your resume will show up a little higher as compared to the other resumes who've probably not done the assessment. So get your skills assessed. They give you a score on that. As long as you clear the test, you're done. Your chances of coming up on the screen is higher.
Oh, thank you.
Can I have a last small question?
Yes, please. Last question.
Yeah. So the online technical communities like Stack Overflow, GitHub, do you refer for off-campus and on-campus placements? If we specify their links, our profile links on our resume.
That should definitely be there on your resume. Recruiters are looking for your Stack Overflow and GitHub profiles. So have that active as well, have LinkedIn active as well. They are super important. They give a brief of the skills also. So super important, do it.
Yep,
GitHub mostly, yes. GitHub is really important, but do it. Please add in your resumes.
I guess we can take one last question from Sudarshan. He has been raising hand for a long time.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Final question.
Yeah, I almost said. Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
So actually, I am a department placement coordinator for my department, like for physics. So I'm just asking you, as a recruiter, what do you look at a student? Like I have to train a bunch of guys so that they are ready for to take a job. So I just want some advice from you that train them in this particular part, and that would be really helpful for me. Yeah, thank you.
Communication skills are the most important thing people are looking for. If you can't even talk properly in an interview, I'm sorry. The chances of you getting hired up would be very little if you can't confidently speak in an interview.
Yeah,
because the first round is a phone call discussion. I call the candidate, I get to know them, I have a very general conversation. Maybe if you can't talk properly, I won't send your resume forward. So have at least the basics of just things about yourself, have that at least ready. Then have things about your work ready, that these are the things I've worked on. It's all something you've done all the last few years. I don't think you should hesitate or have any obstructions in communicating that.
Right.
So communication is the first thing everyone is looking for. Be very clear with your communication. Be very precise as well. Don't just go on for 1 hour. Keep it very quick, short, simple. That this is something I've worked on. So communication is the first thing that recruiters look for in candidates. Second, obviously, how good is the work? How relevant are they for the opening? If they have all the certifications we require, if they have all the skills that we need, all of that is definitely comes second, unfortunately. But what do we do now? We are in 2021. We need strong, confident people who can communicate first. And skills anyone can learn. Skills can be taught to anyone. So I would want a person who is a lot more interesting, a lot more creative than just a normal C++ developer.
Right. That's a plus for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
That's what communication.
No problem at all. I think I need to rush now.
Okay.
Sorry?
Sir, just the point which you said.
Bol do. Ek last.
So if any language would work, like not specific to English, like there are some people who are fluent in other languages, they're not in English. Would that be a problem?
Unfortunately, I mean, I would definitely be okay with it as long as you can communicate in any language, as long as the message is conveyed. I would not mind. But in the corporates, it's only English that's working right now. I mean, everyone has to be good with English. I'm really sorry, but this is the case. Your English has to be super strong. So that is something you might have to work on. Watch English movies. That is the best way to pick up. My English was horrible. You have no idea. I would score the least in English when I was in school. But just watching English movies and listening to English music really helped. And that it is not that difficult. You have to put in a lot of work. You have to put in a lot of effort. And as long as you're watching fun, entertaining English movies, it's entertainment also, and you're learning English. Focus on the dialogues, focus on the words they're using, how they construct a sentence. Focus on all of that, not just the movie, not just the entertainment bit. Focus on the grammar, focus on the vocabulary there. That really helps. English is super duper important right now. A lot of major corporates will not hire you if you can't speak अच्छे से. So unfortunately, I would say it is there. English is definitely the most important factor one is looking for. So be strong with that.
Okay, so
But then should we specify other Indian languages that we know, like
Definitely.
apart from English,
Yes,
Hindi
please.
and Marathi?
Yes, please. Do. I speak Punjabi, Marathi, Hindi, English. I've mentioned all 4 in my resume.
okay, thank you, sir, for your time. I guess it might be coming late for you. So
No
you,
problem. Yes,
Thank you, sir.
you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Ashish Chopra Phillips. If you search just the 3 words, Ashish Chopra Phillips, you will find me. And if you have more questions, I'd be happy to answer there. Okay.
thank you,
Cool.
sir.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day and good luck. Bye.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you.
It was very helpful. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Present. Hello, everyone. So next we have